All right. And we are live. The last word. LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening Eastern Standard Time. So here at the Destiny Campfire, here to talk everything nice. Esteemed guest being patient. But let's start with the cheetah first, man. E, how are you doing, sir? Big stream, big things going on. What's going on with you?
Had an awesome day today. If you guys were here for the earlier stream, I got to do my featured stream for Game2Give, and I broke my community personal record. So last year was cool because, sorry, I thought somebody in chat said no sound. Last year was cool because I broke 10,000 just over the years that I've been doing this, and then this year in one day we raised over $5,000 for the Bungie Foundation. And honestly, it blows me away because it's all the community. It's like, yeah, I'm here, giving you guys a source to put your generosity to something. But no, it's all the community, everybody who donated today, just some absolute legends, just making things happen. There was hot sauce consumed. There were a lot of workouts that were done. And the body's going to be feeling weird things tomorrow, but it's all for a good cause. So I'm kind of okay with it. All of that. And then also a few days earlier, but I got a chance to get early access to Prince of Persia, and I can't rave about that game enough. Totally separate note, but Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Metroidvania, sitting among the greats. It really is. From everything that I've experienced, I haven't 100% in it, but I'm about 75% at this point. The accessibility options and difficulty options open it up to a lot of people, which is a really, I think, very unique thing, because some people may hear Hollow Knight and the challenge and not really want to dive in if it's too hard or something. I love how they opened the accessibility up to either speedrunners who want to do a crazy hard difficulty no-hit challenge, or, baby's first Metroidvania. And it's got everything in between, and I love that. So very, very excellent game. Combat's like a fighting game. You would actually love it. There's a practice mode where you've got like juggling and stuff. It just easy 9 out of 10 for me, please. If you want a good Metroidvania, if you get it on Steam Deck, wherever, it's a blast. Absolutely. Travis, what have you been up to, man?
I am playing games.
That you can't talk about.
That you can't talk about.
No, I think I could talk about some of them now. I can say
NDA
that
gang. All right.
Yeah, NDA gang. So first, I can talk about my review in progress, which went live today for Pal World, which is, if you don't know about it, it's coming to Game Pass tomorrow.
Yeah.
It is a Pokemon-like creature collecting game. However, it is actually a survival game where you use your creature collector creatures to help you. So you capture them and then you bring them back to camp and you have them use their unique abilities to help you run your camp. So for example, if you're trying to farm food, you can have a plant pal bit seeds into the plot, and then you can have a water pal water it with his water abilities, and then you can have a pal with claws.
So you're capturing workers is what you're capturing.
Yeah,
you are not even. They don't even try to hide it. Like just to be clear, your pals start to develop like mental conditions due to poor working conditions.
Oh my god!
And if they get if they get too far along, you can kill and eat your pals, obviously, because it's a survival game. So you got to keep that hunger meter full. It's you can also later in the game, you get guns. Did I mention it has guns in it? And you can give guns to your pals. You can give guns to your pals. But also it's a survival game, so you need to keep your ammo and you need to keep your weapons maintained. And really the only way to do that is in the later game. You build factories and then make your pals work in them on conveyor belt lines, aka you build pal sweatshops in the game. Canonically, it is very weird. It is a super just bizarre game, and the more you play it, you're like, at first when you start in the game and you're like, wow, I'm just beating up these pals with my bare hands and then putting them into a ball. And then later in the game, you're shooting them with guns. And then once they get low enough health, you're putting them in a ball.
Just a lot of positivity here for these pals. They're having a great time.
Very kid friendly. This is very kid friendly for sure.
This
is for the kids.
Here's the thing. it is only weird for like 10 minutes. And then after that, it's totally normal.
And then it's a video game and you're like, all right.
You're totally desensitized to it. Then you're just like, oh yeah, I gotta get my pals. I gotta put them in the factory. Oh, that one got sick. Put them down. And you just kind of keep just going through the motion of it. So
that is a weird level of realism for a Pokemon.
Yeah,
like damn near knockoff. Like really
No, here's the thing: is it looks like a knockoff, but it's really not. The only thing that is knockoff about it is that it's obviously a creature collecting game, and that a lot of the pals look very much like Pokemon.
That's what I meant. The Pokemon or the pals themselves have some pretty close art. That's what I meant. Was the knockoff
that part is super knockoff, but the actual game, it is like it has more in common with Grounded than it has with Pokemon in terms of like the game format. Like it's really about exploring and surviving and taking down bosses, and obviously you have to contend with the bad pal trainers out there, even worse than you. They make you look good because they just go out in the woods with guns and just kill them and take their pelts. They're not even trying to befriend them first. So it's a game. It's a game.
It is a video game.
My review is not done. I'm probably like 25 hours into it. I just got a code. The review in progress is up right now.
Review in progress up in the RGM right now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my review in progress score is 8 out of 10. I don't know if that'll move. I haven't really gotten super far into the end game, but it is a very good game. Like it's fun.
We got end game. We got raids.
We got end game. Like
we got dungeons. We got strikes. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there's a surprising amount to do, and the important thing is, the surprising thing is that it's pretty fleshed out, and I haven't really run into any bugs or anything. And it is a early access game. Like it's launching into the preview program on Xbox. So this is it's 1.0 version, and it's surprisingly good. So there's that. I covered Diablo 4 season 3, season of the Construct, which you can see they announced, and I had a bunch of stuff to put out for that. I think I can't talk about the rest, but I'm working on stuff. It's fun. It's good to be back, guys.
Good to be back. Good to have you back, man. Busiest man in
This is a man who hates vacation, unless you're wondering when he says he's like, I'm back, I'm busy, I have no time to myself. Hates vacation. So Cog, what about you? Somebody who also has trouble taking time off in a way.
I don't know. Just it's been finish up my Destiny Star chores. So I'm all caught up on story and everything I need to do there. And then just Baldur's Gate. I've been really getting deeper with that, and it's been really fun. It's been I'm not gonna it's at first it was a little daunting, but now I'm really getting into the mechanics of my character, my build, and the whole bit. So yeah, that's been going on for me. But we've been yapping long enough. We got this special guest here that we got to bring in.
Indeed. All right. Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 280. Hot sauce has been consumed, emblems have been given away, tons of money has been raised, and Game2Give just started today. When gaming does good, it feels great to be part of it, and our guest tonight is helping lead the efforts of one of the biggest sources of gaming doing great things in the entire world. A man who started his gaming journey with the iconic sound of Sega, and whose early memories include a blue hedgehog, fatalities, and ooze. He started young. From PlayStation, cementing 2 of his games of his all-time top 10, Code Red fueling his late-night Master Chief moments, and standing smack in the middle of the epic storytelling and zombie game Venn diagram, our guest is just a fan of fun and memorable moments in games that they can bring for us. And memorable moments are the ones that matter. A man whose job is literally showing the world all the good that can be done when amazing communities come together to support causes like helping kids and parents face the toughest times in their lives and lending support to those whose lives get upended by disasters. We knew he was destined for something more when he led the charge to pull his finance buddies across the triathlon finish line and help raise over $100,000. So let's welcome a man that knows that Destiny soundtracks are still underrated to this day and go with him everywhere. I knew Cog was going to love that. That and some heavy metal to make sure things are always balanced. A true wildcat at heart, executive leadership member of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, producer at the Bungie Foundation, someone who isn't afraid to dabble in Japanese, has very strong opinions about pizza, which we have to figure out what those are, enjoys a libation every now and then, likely from the agave plant, and could die a happy man in the Cinderella Castle. Let's welcome the one, the only, Jarrod Luty. How you doing tonight, sir?
Thank you. I am doing great. Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a day. Thank you for that amazing introduction. You make me sound a lot cooler than I am, but I appreciate it.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, it's been a day. You know, Game2Give launched today.
Give, baby.
It has been a ride. Like I've never seen anything like this. I think I checked in before we hopped on the call. We were at over $900,000 in 16 hours.
Wow.
Like speechless. I don't have words to like explain like what this means. Like we've never seen anything like this before. Our biggest single day total ever before this was 300K, and that was over this last summer during Bungie Day, and we thought that was amazing. Like we've already, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Like,
let's go.
There's a chance that we hit $1 million while we're talking, and then over the next hour.
Jeez.
I don't know. What do we do? What do we do if that happens? Do we like party? Do we like, I don't know, take a shot of like the bomb all together in unison to celebrate? Like,
that's right.
Not a whole shot. I will recommend not a whole shot. I had 3 drops on my little chicken nugget. Way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, no, it's not to a whole shot. It's fair. It's fair. But yeah, today's been a crazy day, a crazy good day. Like I cannot thank the community enough for what's happened today. Like this is crazy. Honestly, crazy. We thought we had a good campaign planned out. You know, we had a lot of new stuff happening. You know, we were optimistic about our goal and how people would receive a lot of the new stuff that we're trying out, like our merch right here. Go to the Bungie store right now. There it is.
Let's go. Let's see the drip. Oh,
check it out. That's a sweet design. So
okay, good. There we go.
I have to give props to my teammate Austin with the Bungie Foundation. He is an amazing designer. There's the hoodie. I love that. That thing is warm. If you live in a cold climate, you need that hoodie. It is very warm. He designed all this, and he's not a designer by trade. He came from the healthcare industry. He helped basically pioneer our Little Lights program, formerly known as iPads for Kids, starting at Seattle Children's Hospital. So like his background's in healthcare, not design. He's done like all the art, all the logos, everything you see on the site throughout the campaign, on socials, the overlays. That's all him. And he's done a crazy, amazing job. So I have to give him all the props in the world for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's been crazy. We did not expect this type of turnout. I'm happy. I'm humbled. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If I keep talking about it, I'll probably like start getting emotional, and then I'll just blame it on like the onions next to me.
I was just over here cutting onions. I'm sorry. That was me earlier, but different reason.
Doing fantastic, and just to see that type of work being done in the community and what Bungie's been a part of, it's been awesome to see. Your energy, towards it is great. And what I find is like your journey to before you got to this space, right, is also really intriguing to me. And as a person who's a hardcore gamer, you've got quite the resume right there. And I wanted to touch on from the beginning before we get to currently what we're doing now and all the great things that's going on right now is that someone's a Sega kid started out. How did this happen in a world full of Nintendo fans? Like my co-host, Ebontis, he was a strong Nintendo guy. I grew up around a lot of Nintendo guys. So how did you become this? That seems to be the anomaly.
Calling me out like I did something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, like, geez, I'm being shamed here for not owning a SNES or something like that. I don't know. Like, I mean, it was so long ago when I got my Sega. I had to be, I don't know, 5, 6, something like that. Honestly, it's probably my parents' fault. So let's blame them. Like, it's their fault. They're like, oh, let's get them a video game system. They got me a Sega. So, why they got a Sega? Who knows? Maybe it was on sale at Toys R Us versus like an SNES. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, I played like Sonic. I think was probably one of the first games I ever played. Somehow I was able to play Mortal Kombat on Sega. My parents allowed that. Don't know.
Hell yeah.
More like they probably were like, oh, that's fine. You can do whatever you're gonna do.
Just the ninjas on the box. We don't know anything else that's going on.
That guy looks cool.
But to my parents' credit, they did try to play video games with me when I was a kid. I do remember that.
Nice.
There were a couple different games they would play with me, and I would teach them. You know, this day and age, I don't think they could hang, but you know, the old 3-button controller. You know, jump, move, punch.
Yeah, life was simpler back then.
Yeah,
Yep, ABC.
They could handle that. Yeah.
No doubt. So you go from that, and then again, the passion for video games continued on. I'm assuming, and then the other thing that I think that's kind of a similar path is you went into PlayStation, and I'm assuming PlayStation 1, and obviously you got some standouts there like Final Fantasy series and Metal Gear. So like, why does those resonate so much with you?
Yeah, you know, I remember when PlayStation came out, and I wanted one. Like, you know, the whole disc, we can go from cartridge to disc, right? And it was like this big leap in technology, right? We don't see that really anymore, right? We'll probably never see that type of leap again.
Yeah.
But it was just blew your mind with the graphics, the visuals, the new style of play. Like, I think, and I was older, you know, when I got my PlayStation, and, you know, I started to think, you know, I think when the PlayStation came out, you got this, you know, it's the 90s, and you got pulled into this allure of Japan, Japanese gaming, the culture there. And it was at its height during that time. You just kind of got sucked into all that. And like, it was just cool. Like, as like a kid, you're just like, oh, this is really cool and interesting. For the games, I mean, Final Fantasy VIII, it's probably one of the first games I ever played on PlayStation 1.
Oh, wow.
I devoured it. Like, I just went through it. People would be like, what about 7? I'm like, yeah, I played 7. It was good. 7's great, right?
Easy,
Eight.
Don't be
I was like,
slanderous. Don't be slanderous. I like you, Dad. Don't be slanderous. I'm gonna let you.
8 holds that special place in my heart.
I know, this is your experience. I'll be a silly. Continue.
They give all the remake love to 7. I'm like, yo, can Squall get some love, please? Yo, like, I want that Gunblade back. The Buster Sword's cool, but can I get like a collab with a Gunblade instead of the Buster Sword? You know, where are we at, Square Enix?
Come on, Square.
And then Metal Gear Solid. I just stayed like Metal Gear Solid. I remember playing that game with friends. Like, we had to be probably 12. I don't know. Again, I don't know how I got the game, because you're not supposed to buy those mature titles back then. But I remember trying to beat some of those bosses. They were hard, right? Like, you're like, gaming was hard back then, and there weren't like all these. You couldn't just watch like your favorite creator on YouTube or Twitch and just be like, oh, that's how he does it. Oh, that's how you do this build. Oh, I get it. That's the strategy. It's like you kind of had to go to the store and buy like the game books, right? Or find some like text file online.
Game Facts.
Yep.
That was the sources. Or we do the Brady strategy game, strategy guides. If you were happy, a strategy guide. Or sometimes they would sell them in conjunction with the game release at the time. Sometimes trying to make the money. So yeah, it was different back then. We didn't have the Ebontises. We didn't have the Tie Guy Travises. We could go and get those detailed walkthroughs. It was rough back in the day with gaming.
Yeah, and it was great. It was super fun. Like, we would like there's two levels in that game that stick out. It's the level where like you're kind of strapped and they're shocking you, and you have to mash circle like as hard as you can, and it was really hard. Like, when you're like an 11-year-old, you're like, I don't have that type of coordination. You're just trying to get through it, only to find out you actually didn't have to do it. You could have taken like the easy way out, and it's the same result. And then there's the Psycho Mantis, right? Plug the controller into the other. He starts reading your memory card, and you're freaking out. Like, what's going on? Still one of the coolest moments in gaming that I've ever experienced to this day. And like that, I think those experiences hooked me into gaming and the industry. And then from there, it was just,
Yeah.
The rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
He's got some stuff for you, Trav. He's got some Halo love and some FPS. So I'm gonna let you take over that chapter.
How high did you get your rank in Halo 2? Comp playlist. Comp ladder.
Oh,
let's talk.
Not high. I would just mess around with friends drinking my Code Red, which is, I still drink red things, obviously. It's forever in my blood.
That's how it gets red. A lot of people don't know that.
I honestly don't remember my old Halo rank. I remember like my Call of Duty ranks, that's where I grinded a lot more. Halo was more of the play with friends at night and all night long, whereas the Call of Duty is where I'd sit in my room and play till 3 a.m. by myself.
Oh,
and
you was the Prestige dude.
Yeah. Those early Prestige days.
Resetting Prestige.
Yeah. I got you. Showing off them emblems. Everybody knew. Oh, okay. How much time he put in? I got you.
All right, this guy lives in Call of Duty. I see how it is. And you were like rank 10 in the first like week or something, just not sleeping.
I will say when we had Brianna on, those lobbies, sir, made men out of a lot of people. Those
the voice lobbies,
search and destroy lobbies after the back. It was you learned some things growing up in game.
Oh yeah,
just a couple.
The things you hear in those in the early days. I mean, still today it's not great, but like the early days, you're like, and you're like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
Were you ever part of that? I was going to ask you that. If you ever,
I mean, I played some. Like, I just, I don't know. Didn't. Yeah, I heard some things, but it was not the end of the world either here nor there, I guess. But I probably didn't hear anything too dramatic and game changing. I don't know. I probably wasn't around it as much, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. So from there, you go into you still stick kind of FPS and all that stuff. You rocking PlayStation, and then so Destiny comes in because of your love, obviously for Halo, and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I need to know what they're doing. Yeah. Like, how did we kind of fast forward to Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, Halo was a huge part of my gaming growth, put it that way. My childhood, my teenhood, my college days. You know, when you find out that Bungie by then is like, everybody knows Bungie, right? They made Halo, right? Yeah. I joke, I like to, when I tell friends or family that I work in video games now, they're like, oh, where do you work? I'm like, Bungie. They're like, oh, what's that? I'm like, oh, they made Halo. And like, even if they have no idea what like games Destiny is or what Bungie actually is, when I say Halo, they're like, oh, I get it. Wow. Like it was like that cultural phenomenon, right? Yeah. Back in those days, there was a industry-breaking, groundbreaking game title. Absolutely. So when they announced Destiny and they show those early marketing and the trailers and like, that just looks cool. There's nothing like that. And I remember like reading up on it. I definitely have magazines from back in the day still, from like all the articles they did about it before the release, and it was one of the first games that you could pre-download on your PlayStation 3. And I remember doing it, and I was in New York at the time, like, oh, I'm gonna play this at midnight. I can't wait till it comes out. Turn on the TV at midnight, and then I see, 3 hours remaining. Pacific time. I just didn't even dawn on me, right? That it was just not released everywhere at midnight in New York, because New York's the capital of the world, and I'll stand on that.
Yes. We New Yorkers, we know how that. The world revolves around us.
Absolutely. And then just like getting into like, I waited till 3.
Not yours. That's not yours.
Is that all?
The Bay Area. You guys.
I'm over here with nothing. It's fine. I'm over here with nothing.
The bank day begins over you. The financial. You get the Wall Street.
We get the financial.
If it's a tech thing, if it's a video game reset, PST, baby. That's right.
You're right. Because Jarrod, we had to wait. I remember those days. Like, you had to wait. It's like, damn, but this is Pacific time. Oh.
Yeah. Now I could have gone to Best Buy, because I was in New York at the time. They had midnight releases. I could have gone to Best Buy, got the disc, but then you got to do the disc and download the thing anyway. So I figured I'd try to like cheat the system and try to get there online as soon as possible. Only to find out that Pacific time actually exists.
Yeah.
And then I waited till 3. I turned it on, and it was awesome, right? Like, it just groundbreaking gameplay, visuals, cinematic. That first mission was super cool. You had no expectations, right?
Did you replay it like multiple times? I was gonna ask you. Like the beta or whatever. You could get up to like level 8, and then I'd make another character and try and level. Did you do it multiple times?
Yes, okay. I did. Nice. Yeah, I remember because I played the beta and I was like, oh, Yes, I can't do. I gotta do this again. Yeah.
Now we gotta ask the question because now we cook it with the beta and the alpha days, right? And you bring balance to the last word right now. For we don't have a lot of hunters come through. I have Warlock here. We got 2 Titans. So tell me that character select screen. What was it about the hunter that drew you in?
The hunter. First of all, hunters are the best, and
slander already. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean they're the coolest looking. They're the
Tell
coolest
us why
looking.
the hunter's the best.
They're the coolest looking. They do the coolest things. They have the coolest like movement and mechanics, and we can jump. We can
high
jump.
level. Oh, you can jump. Oh yeah, because we flew. We flew. But so is it like do you feel like it's a skill gap thing? You feel like you're playing the game at a higher level, whereas I'm throwing down a riff and these guys are throwing their little barrier and they bonking stuff with their head. Like, what is it about the hunter? Give me the mindset of the hunter.
If we were in a courtroom, I think somebody would object to a leading question or something right here.
Leading
the witness.
I think
I gotta give the hunters their day right now. Come on.
The hunters are kind of like, your Spec Ops, Rangers, Delta Force, Steel, like super, they look cool, they do the cool things, they move cool. And then the other ones are kind of like, okay, your Warlocks are kind of like your medics, and then the Titans are the grunts, right? Like that's, we need them, but like,
Travis, you got to fight back. He going too hard on us. He slandered all of our classes.
I don't have to fight back. I've seen his KD.
Oh, he's gonna go deep dive on me.
Oh, we twisted the knife.
Why do I need to fight back? Somebody already won the fight against him.
I didn't say like I would. We like we're good at what we do. We just look good doing it.
That is fair.
Fashion over function. I mean, you can have that one.
Hunters are the most fashionable. I'll give you that. They're kind of like, one of those fancy sports cars that is impractical to actually use. One of those things.
That's a good analogy. I will say, the character selection, I was tempted with the hunter, of course, the hoodie, you know what I'm saying? The look, it's slender, and obviously, LordCognito names, like, it's very ninja like focus, nimble agility, that kind of stuff. So I will give you that. My only issue with y'all in the beginning, not until now, you guys have evolved to a spot that if D2 came out like the way the D1 was, like you got like the one-off supers, you have more versatilities with the supers and stuff. So the next question is,
he has a lot of versatile supers. Both of you do versus what we have. Thank you for bringing that up. It's not a sore subject or anything.
Sorry for that. Yeah, I didn't mean it. So my question is, so what were you a golden gun? What were you rocking subclass wise first, or drew you the most?
So I could say easily the least would be Arc.
Okay.
That would be the least. I think it depends on the content I'm playing. I think if I'm doing a lot of solo stuff, I default to Void because I need to go invisible because I don't have my Warlock to heal me or my Titan to put up a shield around me and make sure I don't get blown up. So I just go invisible a lot. But I think personally, I love Stasis. I think it's a cool, stylish class. Like, again, the super is cool. You jump up in the air, do the flippy, throw the thing, and then it's, again, it may be not a popular opinion. I like Stasis as a class. I think it's fun to play. But I think historically, probably, especially in the early days, it was Golden Gun that I used probably the most. And I actually I finally spent some time like learning how to do like a kind of a build for a class, which I never really had done before recently. And I finally built out a pretty good solar hunter, in my opinion. Like I figured out how to like get my gunpowder gamble coming back super quick, and the knives, and like get what's the when they throw the knife as the super? I forget the name of it, but get that recharge right away. Yeah.
Rush. Oh yeah, the one off. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's really.
I haven't seen people use that in a while. I kind of forgot that was in the game.
Yeah.
Right. I only use it. I'm a noob when it comes to builds. So like, I was like, it worked for me. It's probably someone look at it and you guys just be like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
this is not optimal. No, you good. That's what's
I like playing against the meta. I respect that.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, if it works for you, that's the biggest thing. I've probably made some goofy ways to get through solo dungeons and stuff, but it's what got me through it. Whatever it was, that's all that matters usually.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then what I think was probably interest Travis is your you kind of did a lot of PvP early, right? Like you started. When did that kind of start, and what gravitated towards you to PvP?
I mean, the PvP comes from the the Call of Duty Halo days, where that's that's all I played. I remember funny story about how much I was like addicted to PvP type gameplay. I studied abroad in Japan during my junior year, and we had school gave us laptops. I was like so addicted to Call of Duty at the time. I got a Japanese copy of Call of Duty to play on like my university laptop, which had no graphics card or anything in it. I played it so much on like the lowest settings, I actually melted the motherboard.
That's
and like
good.
This wasn't my laptop. This was like the school's laptop that they give you. So I had to like go through the school to Dell to get like a local representative from Dell to come replace my motherboard and my laptop, all in Japanese. And I'm just like, okay. It was wild.
That's impressive.
But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so those days led me to the PvP. I played a ton of PvP in D1. It was what I knew, and I just
those were the days.
Quick content, like easy. And yeah, and I think as D2 came out and like the content expanded, you got a lot more deeper into the narrative and the story, and just everything kind of changed. Like I got more into the PvE content. And I just maybe I got old, but like I couldn't keep up anymore.
Yeah, reflexes get a little older there. Yeah, I know what you mean. I leave that to the young bucks like Trav.
Yeah.
Salute. But I'll open it up because I got tons of questions for you, but I don't want to dominate the conversation. So Eve, please, Trav, please, if you guys have questions, I have tons of stuff.
Trav, you can
Destiny and other stuff. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to get into charity now, or?
Yeah, we can jump into. Got a good gaming history. It sounds like we got to know what got in there. I kind of wanted to ask you, we got an idea, but not everybody knows it. Just a little brief history of how you went from your degree, which is very similar to almost damn near the same thing mine is, to what you are doing now, working for the Bungie Foundation, doing all the greatness that you're doing. So how did that transition happen from obviously New York and that world to where you are now? Pretty big change.
Yeah. I've been definitely a journey. So I have a degree in finance, but I moved to Japan after I graduated. I worked there for a few years. I was an English teacher. I was a recruiter. Did a bunch of things. Came back. Was like, okay, I got to put my expensive degree to use. Pay down those loans. I got a job in New York in finance, but at a bank, but actually in technology. So I was, supporting the trading side of the bank, but on the technology side, kind of like as a producer, project manager, product manager role. And like I thought that was my career. That's where I was gonna, live the New York City life. I was tried to figure a way to get into gaming out there. There's only really one studio out there, Rockstar, right? 2K.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And I interviewed there, but I didn't have any experience. But I was like, okay, hey, always keep my ear to the ground to see if I hear something. But then I ended up moving out here, which meant quitting my job. The wife took a job at Amazon, so we packed up our one bedroom in the Upper West Side and moved out to Seattle. Remote work hadn't been invented yet; it was pre-COVID. And I was like, okay, if I'm moving out to Seattle, then this is my chance to get into gaming. And it took a while. Like, this is for anybody who is trying to break into the industry, who's coming from a different industry. It's hard. You're going to go through some dark days. You're going to go through times you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to give up and I'm resigned to whatever job I'm in now. And all I can say is keep pushing. Try to, improve your skills where you can, pick up knowledge, network, make contacts. these incremental things. And honestly, people always ask, like, how do you, what's the best way to break in the industry? Like, make something. Like doing that on your own is gonna, you know, stand out more than a lot of hard technical skills. Obviously depends on the area, but
yeah,
you know, and yeah, it took me just over 2 years of job hunting to find the role here at Bungie. I had interviewed at Bungie too before. You know, when I first arrived, you know, I was more of a technical producer type role that fit a lot of my background that I was doing at the bank. And so I interviewed. I was like a final candidate. I was like, oh my God, this is actually going to happen. And then I lost out in the role, you know, to someone with a lot more experience in industry experience. And I was down. Took a while. Like I stopped playing Destiny. I was just like, I don't want to touch like Bungie or Destiny right now. It's hard. It's raw.
It's raw. Absolutely.
And then, you know, kept job hunting. You know, this is COVID too, right? So like, you know, everything's a bit different, but potentially better because remote work was starting to be a thing. Right. And then I found the listing for the Bungie Foundation. I'm like, huh, what's the Bungie Foundation? And I didn't know Bungie had a nonprofit, a charity, and I think that's a similar, you know, thing for most of our community. They don't really know we exist. So it's on us. It's one of my job to like increase that awareness and share the mission, share the story of what we do. It's important. We're literally one of only 2 companies that has a nonprofit tied to a video game studio. And that's huge. Like we have a very, very large community, an extended community. If you look back over time and the other IP and titles that we've put out, that we have the ability to tap into because of the Bungie name that we can use for good and bring change to the world. So we're working on it. And we're really trying to let people know that, hey, we exist. We do some really amazing, impactful work with kids, with on the humanitarian side, with our partners on the ID&E side. So we're working on it. We're really trying to spread the word. But yeah, I found their role and I was like, what's this job? They were looking for a producer, again, similar type skill set, less technical, but
so I was about to ask you because with your skill set, because I know you're coming from a really technical thing to now this. Did you have any trepidation with that it would be too much of a shift, or you still felt it was in pocket?
A little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, like being a producer means a lot of different things, especially you know, in the gaming world and even within a studio. Like a producer in one area discipline is going to do something completely different than a producer in another discipline. And so my role is like really kind of I wear a lot of different hats. But you know, I was nervous, right? Like, do I actually belong in a game studio with my background? Like I've never made games before. I play games. You know, did like a certificate program. I've built some small little things through that. Do I know what I'm doing? I don't know. But I think the thing that stuck out was the charity angle with the foundation, having that background in New York with that charity experience, you know, running a big corporate team with a very, very large organization, just understanding how that industry works, even though it wasn't a full-time job at all. It was just like a side thing I did at work. And yeah, just leaning on that background, combining my knowledge of games and a fan of games, a fan of the studio, and putting that all together and just figuring out how we can take what we've done already, which was a lot at the time. Like the team was very small. It's still very small. What they've done already was huge. And then adding me, you know, we grew our team size by, well, we went from 3 to 4. That's all the Bungie Foundation is. It's small, right? But we are a very hardworking team. And you know, my teammates, you know, Christine, our director, and then my teammates Sunsri and Austin, they basically managed our entire iPad program, the Little Lights program, by hand for years. Like they would set up these iPads work with the hospitals, put them on through like the device management, the mobile device management software. We had I think 10 partners at the time, 12 partners, and the program's changed a bit, and it's a lot more manageable for the team now because the hospital's taken a lot of that work. But they would spend hours and hours doing all this work, setting up these programs to get the devices in front of these kids, to get the entertainment to the kids, get the distraction to them. And so a lot of power and credit goes to them for those earlier days. And now we're trying to branch out and do more and bring that impact. People always ask, like, what do you do? Like, where's the money go? The money goes, and like, there's a bunch of stats you can check on the Game2Give website now, but like, the money goes to our iPads program, Little Lights. The money goes to our partners to help out during humanitarian crisis, earthquakes, hurricanes, typhoons, tornadoes. It goes to help out, some of the grants that we've done on the ID&E side, like our grant with Yale, our grant with the College Success Foundation. Like, our money is actually having tangible impact across the world, which is really cool. And I wish people would. My hope is that people read more about it and understand what we do, because it's actually really cool.
Really cool.
All right, we're just having a little technical issue with
software
Cog
issue.
here.
Keep going. I'm here. Keep going.
And that was kind of one of the things I kind of want to dive into a little bit, just as you said, of what everything goes for. But you said even early on, the iPads for Kids program was kind of one of the big, objectives that you guys kind of spearheaded through the Bungie Foundation. How did that come to pass? Like, what was it like getting that off the ground? I don't know how much history you know about it and everything. And then where, as you said, it's kind of changed a lot. How broad is it now? How many are in the world? And also, if you've got any stories of what it does for the kids, like what it is like for the kids and the parents and everything. So kind of just throwing it back to you to dive into that one, because that's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. It started all with Seattle Children's Hospital right here in our backyard. And the story goes that, at the time, our CEO at the time was in the hospital, and he found out that these kids suffered, that there was like a whole group of kids at Seattle Children's that suffered from this rare nerve disease that caused like crazy amounts of pain for them. And it like broke his heart, and he came back and said, hey, we need to do what can we do to help these kids who are suffering from this crazy pain that even adults can't manage? We're an entertainment company. We are a gaming company. Like, how can we help them? And the task came to Christine, the director at the time, and that's how the iPads program grew. We've found a way to put devices into the hands of children, give them age-appropriate content on those devices, so like preschoolers getting a certain set of apps and games and software, and then a teenager is going to get a completely different one, right? Because they have different needs.
Yeah.
So finding a solution for that could be managed centrally and easily deployed across an entire hospital without like getting in the way of the clinical stuff that has to happen. And immediately became a hit. Like, families would come to the hospital with their kids. The kid would be sick. Sometimes the kid would be there for a couple of days. Sometimes the kid's there for a couple of months or longer. Sometimes the kid has to come back on a regular basis for treatment. And like, knowing that when they got there, that they had this small little thing that would just help them calm down, distract them during a procedure, or just fall asleep, or even during COVID, it became a huge communication tool, right? Finally allowing, kids to talk with their family who may not be allowed in the hospital because of the restrictions that were in place at the time. So like, it evolved over time. With COVID, our model evolved and grew because we needed to. We could no longer visit these hospitals and work hand in hand with them to set up the program. So we figured a way how to essentially grant money to them, give them the expertise of how to set up this program for them, work with them to implement it, and then the hospitals then run with it. And that's allowed us to grow. So we have 14 or 15 hospitals now. Not even just hospitals. We've gone into like specialist schools as well for kids with developmental issues, behavioral issues. We just got into a school for the blind in Florida.
Wow.
Like we're getting into like some really specialized niche areas that never had a solution to help these kids learn or get distracted or just be entertained and help their stay. We also expanded globally over the past year. We're in Germany now, and we have some others as well coming up. We have one in Canada, so it's growing, and it's been we don't have to worry about telling people about the program. We have like a queue of hospitals coming to us asking, "Hey, can we get your program installed in our system? We've heard about it. We love it. We want to make it happen." So it's just a lot of work to get it set up.
Yeah. Is there? I mean, obviously, what we're doing right now. I mean, we looked before. I was trying to check the number to see where we're at, and
did we hit it yet?
936 so far. Not quite, but working on it.
All right.
But yeah, just like the efforts of days and these drives that you guys do, is that a point where are there hospitals and programs and things that are, you said they're coming to you at this point? There's a limitation at some point financially of how far it can go. So is there a line, is needs, priorities, stuff like that, kind of how to choose where the expansion goes next?
It's less of a financial burden or a restriction. It's more of a bandwidth and challenge. We have a small team, but we have to work within the hospital system, and can be difficult based on their IT infrastructure, their willingness from the hospital side to kind of adapt this new program and manage it. It was easier when we were saying we would manage everything, all the devices for you. The clinical staff would just hand them out, and then the back end, our team would handle it. That's not scalable at all. We learned very quickly. So it's kind of it's educating them on the benefits of the program, showing them the impact that this can have to their child life program within the hospitals, and really just getting it set up. Working in the medical field is challenging. It's
to say the least.
Yeah. So there's a lot of hurdles that we have to get through. There's a lot of like privacy and regulations that we have to make sure that are covered for us and the hospitals. So it's just a complicated program to get set up, which is really the only limiting factor for us getting more out the door.
So it's a combination of like, can the ID department actually execute it? Do you guys have the bandwidth to bring on more people? All of that kind of working together and trying to find something that's going to be also probably a more kids-focused hospital as well, because that's where it needs to go.
Yeah.
How much does it cost per hospital?
Yeah.
Is there like a...
It depends on how big the hospital is.
You guys don't think of the money in terms of hospitals. Like how many hospitals will this fund or whatever?
So there's... We think of it in the terms of beds, if you will. That's beds, so basically the goal is to have one iPad per bed per room in a hospital, so that every kid has access to it, right? Usually with a lot of hospitals, they'll trial it in one ward or department first to ensure, like, slow roll it out, and then they'll expand it to the entire hospital. And the size varies. Like some hospitals, maybe 50 beds. There's some hospitals that we have where we have 500 or even more. Like there's some hospitals, I think it's Dallas is one of our partners. They're massive.
There's a children's hospital. I was going to say. Yeah.
Yep. And Children's Colorado is one of our biggest partners. Just massive hospitals where we're literally helping. And this is a cool stat that we kind of uncovered today. Annually, based on the number of iPads that we have and number of beds out, we get an iPad into the hands of over 500,000 children every year right now with our current scope.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just a crazy stat to think about that, over the lifetime of the iPads program, and we're talking about millions of kids that have been impacted by our program. That's very tangible impact where these dollars from Game2Give and our other campaigns go to. They fund these programs, they fund the investment into them and the enhancement and improvement of them as well.
Awesome. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm back. But yeah, no, this is really informative stuff and just really cool, to see what's going on. I was gonna ask you in terms of like, now that you've been a part of the program, what was some of the kind of like standout moments to you where it kind of hits for you, where it's just like, okay, we're doing something special here. We're making a difference. Any particular standout moments for you?
So I think they're small moments, but we've seen, we'll get a message from an employee at Bungie who said, my kid just had a visit to Seattle Children's Hospital, and they'll take a picture of the iPad that the kid is using and it'll have the Bungie Foundation logo on it. And they'll be like, thank you. This was a lifesaver during our stay here. Like, this was amazing. And we've gotten pictures like that from our community as well, who didn't even know like the Bungie Foundation existed or that the Little Lights program existed. And they will go to a hospital. And these are like, the older generation Bungie fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll take their kid to the hospital and they'll be like, I just went to the hospital with my kid and I see Bungie's logo on this iPad that my kid is using right now. This is absolutely amazing. And we'll see it on social media or send it directly to us. Mm. And like those small moments is like, this is really cool.
Absolutely.
When you see those small little stories, those little moments where people recognize and didn't have any idea of this before. And they say, like, I understand why this exists now.
Yeah, absolutely. So important. And just to provide that comfort, to people during these difficult times, right? And it's important. I think you guys don't get enough credit. The team, like you said, not like this massive team, and even so many, like you said, veterans of people playing Bungie games and Destiny for so long and not realizing that these things exist. So kudos to you, kudos to the team, continuing the work, continuing to put that work, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And it doesn't get enough, saying light on it, in reference to that. So salute to everyone that's working in conjunction with that. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Travis, you got a question?
I have a lot of questions.
Go for it. Sounds like we all got something. So
that's cooking. We got a lot. We got a lot for Jarrod.
Well, I guess my question was originally going to be about your most successful drive, but we now know that's today. How does the team celebrate when you have a big day? Do you guys have rituals? What do you do?
We don't really have rituals.
You telling me you have chugging hot sauce every time he raises $10, but you guys don't have any rituals? Come on.
Again, we're kind of uncharted territory right now. We've never seen this level of success. And to be honest, our past couple campaigns, they were lower than expectations. I think 2 years ago, Game2Give 2021, it went crazy. We raised like $2 million. It was also a weird time because it was kind of split between two periods. And I had just joined the team. That was our first campaign we ever ran, solo as the Bungie Foundation, not involving other organizations. So we've been learning ever since then and trying to figure our way out and how do we make these campaigns really engaging. But I think we need to figure out some type of ritual for this, because this is special. We're at $1 million. I don't want to say it, but we're really close to $1 million in less than 24 hours, which is incredible. We should celebrate that. But I think it's not us, right? We put the campaign together. Sure, we put a website up. We thought of these ideas and strategy. It's the community. We didn't donate the money. It's the community that donated this crazy amount of money. It's everyone out there, we just take that money and put it to good use. It's the generosity of the community. The gaming industry in general is phenomenally generous, and you would never, a lot of people would never think that, but they really are. So that's who we should celebrate and will celebrate. I think, I don't know if you've seen the email that went out at midnight that a lot of people thought was like, oh, is this real? Like, we gave everybody who's ever donated to us basically a free emblem. Like, we want to say thank you. And I think there's a lot of more of that to come, as we hit milestones like today, because again, we're celebrating the support that they have taken from their pockets and given to us to help further our mission. And what a lot of people don't know about the foundation is that the Bungie Foundation is 99% funded by the community, by donors. We don't have billionaire backers. We don't have corporate backers. Literally, our entire budget and all the work that's done is funded through these type of campaigns from our donors. And that's really important for people to realize that they're able to do all this amazing stuff in the world.
Yeah.
And without them, we'd be nothing.
Absolutely. No, well said. Well said. The community is tremendous. It's one of the things, and no one, during the good times, bad times, whatever you want to say, when it comes to the community that surrounds Bungie, the Destiny community, it's tremendous to see. And to see everyone willing to give their time, set aside those hours, and do something that's good. It's helpful. It's the humanitarian spirit, I feel. And it's that's why I'm always gonna have a connection to the game. Like, regardless to whatever happens, this is why this podcast was founded for all three of us, our passion for this game, and then it's the connection that it brings. So it's so cool to say people kind of like, next man up, next girl up. Okay, I'm going to do my stream. You did this, okay. Like, it's really cool to see it. I want to commend you guys. I want to commend E. You've been a participant for so long, and to see what you're doing in reference to your contribution to that is super dope. And yeah, man, it's just good stuff. It doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion. But what do you think, E?
Oh, I mean, I was flabbergasted today, if that's a fair word to use, because it's not one I get to pull out very often, so that works. Yeah, like previous years, I mean, as you said, I think I hit like 3,800 back in 21, and then the previous couple of years were a little lower, but I was like, hey, every year it's like, it'd been $2,000 to $3,000, almost $4,000 that I'd helped raise and helped contribute to this program. And I cannot remember what year it was, because I'd been doing this. I look back, it was 2019, I think, is when it started. And it was one of the years I went to GCX, and there's one of the years that Bungie was there, and then St. Jude's was there. And it was one of the years when St. Jude's had these little headsets you could put on and it would play like a movie. And it broke me. It absolutely broke me. I'm not one of those little cry movies. I hung out in this headset until my eyes were dry. So this is the one where you get to see a child going through like cancer treatment, stuff like that. And it's the moment that they show you where they ring the bell. It's their last treatment's over. And then they go down the hall. All the doctors are lined up on both sides. I'm just like, I was telling my wife this the other day, and she's starting to cry. I'm like, don't cry. I was like, this is good. But it was like, same thing I went through emotionally. And that's why I was like, and then this past year, it's like, I lost an aunt to cancer. And my mom was basically not too far of a neighbor, helping caretaker and stuff like that through it. And she was there on her final day, but it was multiple bouts of chemo and radiation and all this stuff that they go through. She was 80 though. I mean, she was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. She was a badass lady, and she'd been through a lot, but you still see everything that they're going through and all of those things. To translate that down to a child, it's on both sides. As Jarrod said, it's like the amount of pain that these kids are going through, on top of watching a parent be helpless to be unable to help their kid. And then if you can contribute that one thing, that little, as a distraction sounds like a bad word, but in that moment, that's one of the best things they could probably ask for, is a way to not think about all that they're having to go through. And it was all of those things have combined helped kind of continue this drive. And that's why just, I mean, yeah, today it's like when we got done, we wrapped up just barely breaking over 5,000. I was floored. I mean, just to be involved. I mean, I'm here doing goofy workouts and a couple like nuggets with hot sauce on them and little thresholds, and I'm doing a couple giveaways and things, all little stuff versus as you're talking about what you're able to do to truly change a child's life, whether it's save it, just ease the pain that's going on, and then just the parents, like, I don't have kids, but the idea of a parent watching a kid go through that has got to be one of the hardest things ever. So if you're able to ease that in just the little bit slightest, it makes it makes an absolute difference. So that's why, I mean, yeah, the record you're looking at today, it's like my little personal milestone. Last year, I had, kind of broken a milestone just in our community to raise over 10,000. And then this year it's now, we're close to 17 or something, because it was just thresholds and stuff were going. And and just to sit back there and think, it was like, I never thought I was going to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And but then to sit here and now like try and do these charity drives and see the community come together and do this stuff, it's always, and if you just take my smaller scale and then just multiply it by all the people who are giving their time, their effort, their energy, and all of these things to put their streams on to give a place for their surrounding communities. It's just like a good version of a pyramid scheme where enough people are out there. It is like you got enough people in a community. That's funny. That's kind of don't take that in the wrong way, but it's like a lot of the community and content creators that then have their community, and it's just like the reach can go that much farther.
Yeah. If you can inspire those in your community to then do it their own and go out on their own. And again, you don't have to, like, you've raised $5,000 this year. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. Like, there's very few people who can do that. But like, if you inspire people in your community to start their own fundraiser, and even if they raise $100, but you get 10 people to do that, that's $1,000. And that money adds up. And if you have 1,000 people doing that, now you're just talking about exponential stuff. And that's why we try to say, and with our campaigns, we try to incentivize the community to just get involved and offer, these lower tier incentives potentially to maybe make that more attainable to you and not have that, like, I can't raise $2,500 for that thing. That's going to be hard for a lot of people. I get that. But maybe let's try to incentivize people to do a little bit lower. And that's where we're trying to figure that formula out.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I really appreciate that the Bungie Foundation exists, because I feel like it has taken this opportunity to grab this community that is so passionate and kind-hearted. And I think that's really rare in games, even games I really, really love. Sometimes the communities are just toxic. And I think Destiny's done a pretty good job of staying away from that, and the people that play the game. And it has given players a relationship to the game beyond the game, because the game isn't always good. I say that as a reviewer. Sometimes you just gotta admit that it goes through tough times. Crucible's dead, and we got about 5 months until our next expansion. A really long season ahead of us. So but even when times are tough in the game, the reason that we stay here and we keep making content and doing these charity streams and all that is because the community and the higher purpose of the good that the Bungie community can do, I think, is what keeps people interested and keeps people engaged. I think that's important, not just to the game, although it certainly does help, but it's important, I think, to people's perception of what a gamer is, right? In the larger world where we're seen as neckbeards and couch potatoes. And I think it's cool to see so many people getting out there and getting active and doing good stuff. It's just really cool. So
yeah,
I don't really have a question. I just want to say that it's awesome. Plus, we get some cool swag. I don't know.
Oh, the swag is lit. The swag.
I don't know how much of this Destiny swag wouldn't exist without the Bungie Foundation, because it kind of feels like a good, wholesome excuse to just print, Gallarhorn Nerf guns and stuff. But it's very cool.
It is pretty awesome. Like, and I was kind of thinking about this today. Is like, hey, why is this year's campaign so successful already? I was like, in a larger sense, like, is it maybe it's the Desi community was finally waiting for like some good, something wholesome to rally around. And maybe this is it, right? We've had the best run over the last couple of months, So maybe this was like that kind of like, okay, this is something I can get around. Like it's good. It's for charity. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. And then there's another side of it where it's like to the content piece. Like I think that charity drives in general and fundraising campaigns, when you're dealing with content creators, you're giving them new content essentially, because I don't want to speak for content creators because I'm not one. You guys are experts in that, but like I would imagine that there's times where you struggle to like, hey, how am I going to engage my community? Like what am I going to do in the stream? What am I going to do in the stream? How can I keep this content fresh and unique, bring people in, engage with them, and have a good time, grow my own brand, be successful? And like I think these types of fundraising campaigns, right? Our creators have put a lot of work into like figuring out their streams, these incentives. I mean, Montes over here is doing hot sauce shots, doing push-ups. Like that would never really happen on a normal stream, right? Like, and you put a lot of thought and effort, and you're creating content, new content, fresh content in a time maybe where you're kind of dragging in the game and can't find things to do in the game, meaningful things to do, connecting with your community. It's kind of stale. Like having something like this, I think, is that fresh injection of creativity that I think the community needs, that our creators need, that the game needs, all in all, and coming together around like a good cause. No one can get mad at that. So I think like that maybe that's why this is successful, because we haven't had this in a long time and at this scale. So I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that's a valid thing, but it's yeah, as you said, it could be any number of factors that go into it, but the timing is possibly a little bit right, but it's also always for the good cause. It's almost one of those to where the right reason brings almost that little extra to it for everybody. It's like, hey, if it's another stream or I'm going to be playing this game or whatever, it's like, hey, this is my charity stream. I probably like lost sleep last night just thinking through what I was going to do. Is it all set up right? All that other stuff. And it's normally I'm not quite losing sleep over something like that. It's like, hey, I'm going to go. It's not that level. So it even allows you to jump in more. And then you've got just the shared combined voices of like rating into rating, and everybody sharing the community throughout the entire day, and just everybody working together. It does have that like unique feel when we only get it a couple of times a year. I mean, GCX, I know you guys have been out there, like seeing them and like St. Jude's, and then what you guys do with Direct Relief and the Little Lights program and all that stuff. It seems like and that's the thing. Some people in chat will say, hey, it's not a good year. And it's like, only do it if it makes sense. But it's also the idea of like, can you spare a cup of coffee tomorrow? Because it doesn't have to be a lot, because it's all the little stuff that adds up. And that's sometimes that some people need a little bit of a reminder, even if it's just like a random content creator saying, hey, you want to, make your dinner at home tomorrow and help out a kid with an iPad in a hospital room? Yep. It's like, yeah, that's probably the easiest thing I've ever been able to do in my life. It's like, that's an easy give. So those are awesome. One thing I did kind of want to ask you, though, is the other side of the Bungie Foundation. The big one is Direct Relief. You mentioned disaster release and those things. I mean, I've got my Maui shirt. I think yesterday I wore my Haiti shirt. Those are easy, like cool to get the shirts back. But I want to know more about working with Direct Relief and dealing with disasters, because that's like another huge pillar. And did that come after the Little Lights? Like, how did you transition into working with Direct Relief as well? Like, how did that all come together?
That came before the Little Lights, actually. And it came before the Bungie Foundation was a thing. So our work, and again, this is not something that Bungie did. This is something the community like asked for, right? Our work in the humanitarian space, disasters, extends back to, I believe it was Hurricane Katrina. It was the first humanitarian fundraiser that Bungie did, 2005. And that was something led by the community. They wanted to do something. Employees here, Bungie at that point is tiny, right? Like not the studio we are today. And so we rallied and we did a fundraiser for Katrina. I forget, I have the stats somewhere. I think it actually might be on our website, how much they how much we raised, but it was crazy. And then I think the next big one after that, then we had several after. We had Haiti earthquake. We had the tsunami and earthquake in Japan. And I think Nepal was the one that really kind of blew the hinges off the door. And I think by that time, the Bungie Foundation had been established. The Bungie Foundation was founded technically in 2010. Although we really didn't have campaigns like we do now. It was much more reactive and trying to figure out what the purpose was and mission was back then. But through those earlier campaigns, and I think it was Nepal where we raised $1 million for selling the T-shirt and the emblem. And to this day, people still wear it. I think it's beautiful art that was designed for it. And so we started working with partners like Direct Relief through those campaigns. And again, at that time, they were just one-offs, right? We raised a lot of money. The community wanted to do something. They felt strongly about it. We found a partner to work with, and we were able to give a lot of funds to Direct Relief and some of the other organizations we worked with. As we found ourselves in a better financial position and more formalizing, the mission of the Bungie Foundation, our community had been asking for it for years, so we felt very strongly about humanitarian aid being a core pillar of the foundation moving forward. So that's why we have 3 pillars of children's health and well-being, humanitarian aid, and ID&E. And so we were able to so we now work regularly with Direct Relief as a partner. We've expanded to include Team Rubicon as one of our strongest partners, and also the International Rescue Committee. All phenomenal partners, all serving within that humanitarian aid space, but a little bit different. Like each of them operate in a little bit different areas in their own specialty. They definitely have some crossover, but with those 3 organizations right now, we have the ability to impact global communities through their work, at the, drop of a hat. And they've been amazing partners to us, and we love working with them.
Cool. You're muted, Cog.
All right,
I was like,
that's phenomenal.
I saw the mouth move, and I was like,
yeah, sorry. No, I said it's phenomenal because it shows you it's just more than just that aspect, the disaster relief aspect. I was looking at while you were talking, Jarrod, in reference to the Katrina thing and all the different locations that need disaster relief. That is something that is another huge deal. People are suffering and lose their homes and try to figure things out. So again, another worthy cause that it's cool to see Bungie get behind it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think going back a little bit to something Travis said that I want to, before I forget about it, and again, celebrating our community, and I think the Destiny community is one of the best, if not the best, gaming communities in the world. One of the most passionate, supportive, and giving. 100%. There's really none other like it. And I think nothing is more evident than we've been working with Make-A-Wish since 2001, since OG Halo days.
Oh, wow.
We granted our first wish in 2001 for Make-A-Wish kids. Since then, we've done 415, I think is the current number.
Wow.
Nothing is more evident of what this community means to people, or what the game means to people, than the fact that these kids, whose one wish for the Make-A-Wish is to come take a tour and meet the people who have made Halo and Destiny.
That's awesome.
That's
and
humbling.
Yeah,
we have a tour scheduled in a couple months. We have another Wish kid coming. He's a Destiny super fan.
Let's go.
And I think going back to the question you had earlier about the most impactful moment, those small moments are great, but I think if you want one where the waterworks really got turned on,
let's go.
Was Wyatt last year. Wyatt was Destiny super fan. I mean, this kid knew everything about lore, and he was
little bite.
Amazing. And he was a bit older. He was, because COVID happened and we couldn't get him his wish. And we had to keep postponing. And so he was actually entering college for his freshman year in 2023. He did the tour in spring of 2022, and he was going to college now for like creative writing. He wants to get involved in the gaming industry, and so he came to tour Bungie, and we were able to bring down all the employees in the studio that day, and he pulls up in his limo, right? They chauffeured around his little limo. He didn't know anything what was going to happen today. He just knew he was going on a tour of Bungie. He enters the studio, and like there's about 200 Bungie employees in the lobby here.
Wow.
And they just start clapping and cheering. I swear, like I'm getting emotional right now. Like there wasn't people breaking down, and like he did like the a walk of honor like through like two lines of all the employees clapping. I mean it's on so we put out a video on it, and you can see that moment when he's coming in. It was special, and that kid, he's a special kid. He went through a lot when he was younger. Unfortunately, he made it through everything. His parents were amazing humans. We got a chance to talk with them and meet them. It was a really amazing day, and I think for us as Bungie employees, you know, people who make the game and work here, a lot of times you kind of get lost in your work. You get lost in what you do, and you don't realize that the impact that your work has. And it is inspiring kids to push past very, very difficult times, to inspire them to want to be a video game designer, be a writer. And I think it's really, really special when we have those moments. And again, that's all because of the community's support. Like we wouldn't be able to put on those experiences without the community giving back and, you know, having these moments for kids like Wyatt and changing their life. And I think it's really special.
That's awesome.
I was like, I'm trying not. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm good.
Just go watch the video and it'll start. It'll turn right on.
Yeah, no, I did that once in the VR headset. I don't need to do that today.
Yeah, that's even more immersive.
Yeah, that was that's amazing. I mean, that would definitely be one when it's just. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I mean, when you get to that moment, you say the Make-A-Wish, and their wish is to tour your studio. It's like, of everything you want, like that would just kind of put me kind of square in Humblesville really fast, just to say, wow. But that's awesome that you guys are also able to do that. That you've got some that you're working on. And
I think it's really, and you know, he met with a bunch of different disciplines within the studio, and I think it's always really, it's very heartwarming to see those conversations happening, especially with a kid like Wyatt, who's just an absolute super fan. I don't think they know what they're getting into, and like the impact, like it's right then and there they realize the impact of their work, and it's this moment of like, whoa, and like we'll chat with them after, and they're like, this is amazing, and like the fact that they give that time and have these very, very long meetings and conversations with these kids is amazing.
Yeah, it's full circle. It's full circle, bro. That's
a pretty high chart topper right there. I think that's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, that's when you know. That's when you know you've seen the direct effect.
Yeah,
right then and there, and then you see the joy. Right, I'm sorry, Getty.
No, keep going. You're good.
No, just saying, you just see the joy, and when you realize what you do, how it does affect. And I'm already seeing the visual, you know what I'm saying, of walking through and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's special stuff. That's those are the heartstrings right there.
Yeah, so that I guess is kind of one. You guys are around, or at least in connection with so much. Heartache might be the wrong word, but there's a lot of, you get to see a lot of the unfortunate in the world. Right. Things that go wrong, people dealing with tough times, people fighting through very painful things, disasters absolutely just ruining people's lives. Does that, I was like, I have no doubt that drives you, but does that ever kind of
Bum you out.
Bum you out? Yeah, I was like that. Does that get to you too when you see it a lot?
Yeah.
Like, is there a moment where that kind of sinks in?
I think there's definitely times, especially because we know we can't help for everything, and we get requests from employees, from partners, from our community, especially like, hey, can you help in this situation? Can you help this? Can you do this? And like, it's really hard to say no. But like, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons that we have to sometimes. I wish we could do more. But again, we're bound by our how much money we have, the areas we operate in. So yeah, it does get tough. I think the one thing that helps with that is that I know that when we do say we're going to help in this area or we'll launch this thing or whatever it may be, we know the community is going to step up, and they always have. And there hasn't been a single time where we've ever been disappointed with the response from the community for a fundraiser, a campaign, whether that's an emergent one or if it's a big campaign like Game2Give. So I think, we may get bummed out by seeing some of this, not so happy stuff in the world, but knowing that we have a community that will support us in whatever direction we go, and knowing that we can actually bring impact to people and communities around the globe helps with that and makes us, at the end of the day, like, happy. Like, we've done something, we've united together, we've established this culture amongst our community of giving and support and generosity.
Super dope. Gotta switch gears for a moment because I'll be remiss if I did not ask you this.
Oh yeah, we got some other topics to discuss too. Yeah.
The name. So we know the tag on the heavy metal poet, and then I'm a big Destiny music guy, so I want to tackle two things.
Yeah. Okay.
So I feel that it's just criminal that this game has not received soundtrack awards, has not received music awards. Like, I'm the guy every award show. Where is my man's at? Where is the Forsaken soundtrack? The what you name it, it is up there. Now, one track that me and E really go hard for.
Oh yeah, I think
was Remember the Devils. You know what I'm saying? The remix joint for the Devils. So my thing is like, one, what is your favorite Destiny music tracks? And then my other thing is that I want to talk on the heavy metal side, some of the bands and stuff that influence you.
Yeah.
Let's go. Top Destiny tracks. Let's go.
So I agree 100%. Destiny needs to be recognized for its music because it's amazing. It's cinematic. It's better than a lot of, I think, movie soundtracks. 100%. And it's so unique. Like our music team is amazing. My personal favorite, my personal favorite soundtrack. It's Beyond Light. Again, there's more personal reasons behind that, and just the theme and there's a comfort there in my point of view, and just the way it sounds and the mood of the soundtrack, and it just hits all the right spots. Again, I was listening to it, and that expansion came out at a very specific time in my life, so like it hits all the vibes that like what I look for.
Yes.
Absolutely. Deep Stone Lullaby, right? Like, is there an actual better song than that?
It's up there. It's up there. I mean, that when that happened in that raid, I mean, Travis, we were like, what is happening? Right? We first of all, we had space, and then you just the sound effects in conjunction with
it's like muffled sound. Everything's a little bit muffled, and then all of a sudden this track starts playing, and I'm just like, I just want to sit there and listen.
Yeah, it's peak Destiny, and then you with your friends, you got this beautiful skybox, and you hear this most majestic angelic like track, and you're like, what is happening? And this is during a raid. Like this is what it's high level stuff.
Yeah.
High level stuff.
That's
So I'm with you there.
That one's like
And
the
I think-
epitome of raid pacing too, is like you get the crazy
Yes.
encounter and then it's that moment to breathe. But it's a special moment to do that will definitely not be forgotten.
Lullaby is goated. We have to say. I would definitely say that. Continue. You're about to say something.
Yeah, and I think I don't know the actual name of the track. I'm sure it has a name, but like the orbit music, the music while you're in orbit. And this goes back to like the earlier days where I can remember playing way too late into the night, like dozing off on the couch and just being in orbit and just hearing that like really calming music that sometimes has a crescendo but then comes back and it just mellows out. Like it's amazing and it's still there. I mean, it's got to have a name. If not, I'd be very shocked.
It's a compilation of a bunch. I remember we had Sky Lewin.
Yeah, we had
and Sky's awesome, and we talked about that. Yeah, like the orbit music, right? And
so
then
good.
Sometimes you get a combination of some older stuff in there as well. Just very it goes hard on that. So you got Beyond Light as your whole compilation. It's like the mood, the snow, it's like a biome thing. It's a vibe, and obviously Lullaby. Okay, all right. Any other tracks you remember just off top, or any other moments where it just kind of hit hard?
Oh, it might be this track called Athanasia. Somebody in Twitch right now is telling me that's the Orbit track, so you might have a name.
Nice. There we go. Throw on the Spotify playlist right now.
Nice.
I don't know. Like again, my older memory of the music is a little bit, fuzzy. But what I did manage to pick up, I have is it the Taken King, Forsaken, and I don't know. It's a massive collection of vinyl of Destiny soundtrack on vinyl that I just got a couple months ago. It was like we had like a garage sale at the studio, and it was like, no one wants this? Absolutely, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone through it all, but like I popped a few of those on, and I don't remember the names of the tracks, but like I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
like, so those earlier soundtrack, the Taken King soundtrack is great.
Yes.
Regicide specifically on there is very iconic for that last mission.
Yeah. And then I'll see transition back. I know me and he were talking about the Devil's Lair. Goes pretty hard. So on the heavy metal side, man, you gotta start talking some talk, man. What are these bands? You gotta live up to the name. We gotta know.
So fun fact about the name. My old like screen gamer tag was Bape Star.
Bape?
And like from Bape, like a bathing ape. Like
the
Nigo's old Japanese clothing brand Pharrell.
Yep. I remember back in the day. That's so why I know you talking about that.
So
you got caught on that one.
Yeah,
I was like, I can't. I was like, but it was my PlayStation screen name back in the day, and like it was just that's what it was. It had always been that. I'm like, I can't change this. I'm like, all right, but like it's kind of ridiculous, and like the way it was formatted, it looks weird, and then if you say it another way, it sounds even worse. So like, I'm like, I got to get rid of this. My headphones, I had like Bose headphones. When you like put them in the app, like you can name them, and I'm like, I don't know what to name them. I was like, here's like a random name, and Heavy Metal Poet came up. I'm like,
what?
That's perfect.
You telling me you a random key generator?
Bose, yes, Bose random name in their app is now my I guess social persona.
That's kind of awesome.
But I mean, in terms of bands, oh man, what do you want me to start? Like,
let's go.
So I grew up in the, I was a teen in the early 2000s. So like I'm in that emo, hardcore, screamo era.
Okay, I think what you're doing. I got
you.
Okay.
My favorite bands, some of my favorite bands. I hate to say the favorite, but Alexis on Fire, they're up there. Yesterday, I just got the complete vinyl set of Glassjaw.
Okay. Checking in with my homies in there. They're gonna verify you right now. Keep talking.
There's another band, Thursday, another band that I loved growing up. If you want to talk about some more classic bands, I'll say AC/DC.
Okay.
I'll say, who doesn't like Black Sabbath? and I just picked up a Led Zeppelin record, original press the other day.
Going in. Okay, you're going with the classics. Okay.
Some more modern bands that I listen to a lot. Let me pull up my Spotify right now. Let you know.
Playlist. Here we go. Ian, I see you in there. You said you're going. I need some comments on this. He's dropping names now. I need to see y'all in there.
Oh, we got.
They said Pantera. They said Testament. They said ask him about Yellow Card.
Yellow Card on your violin.
They said, what's up with that? They said what's up.
So Yellow Card. Fun fact: I loved Yellow Card growing up. I played the violin growing up. I was from a kid all the way to college.
Yep.
I played the violin. I used to rock out to Yellow Card, jam out on my violin, playing Yellow Card in the background. I had the book with all like the riffs for the violin. It was great. Yeah.
Like the Ocean Avenues, they're popular one, but I always like Breathing More. That's one of my favorites by Yellow Card.
Yep. All right. So who did I listen to a lot last year, according to my Spotify?
Spotify said.
So one of my big bands was actually a new guy, Kim Dracula.
Okay, never heard of him. All right.
He's from New Zealand. Very, very unique. Very, very different. I would encourage you to take a listen.
Yeah, Australian cat. Okay, all right. Right now.
I'm trying to think who else.
Kim Drac in the building.
I listen to I listen to bands like August Burns Red, Miss May I. They're not too active anymore. I do some some Norwegian Viking metal. Amon Amarth. I like some Corpiclani.
Oh, these are deep cuts right here.
Yeah, I'm like,
these are super deep cuts right here. I like that.
I mean, my metal taste is all over the place.
Travis, what did you just say?
Yeah,
these all sound like Destiny exotics. To
These
me.
are like Destiny exotics.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta come up with some Destiny names. Just go talk to Jarrod about his music, and we'll get some exotic.
I'll give you a
names.
band name, and there you go. It's the next exotic.
The next exotic. There we go.
Right, I gotta get a little goofier now. You said you have. It's a very interesting word choice. You have a fierce opinion about pizza.
Yes.
So I need to understand what what this means. Because fierce has a lot. There's a lot behind it.
It's gonna get
We know where he's
controversial. I can
from,
tell.
and we know what he's gonna say.
I know where he's from, but I want to know what it means.
Let's not judge. Let's see where he goes with this.
I'm judging.
Pineapple does not belong anywhere near pizza. Anywhere near.
Agreed.
Okay.
In the same zip code. Honestly, it should not even be there.
Pineapple's a no.
The only good pizza is in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Okay.
And New Haven pizza. I don't know. I hear about it. I hear it's a thing. Never had it. So I'm really talking about like the wedge. Okay. Southwestern Connecticut, like Greenwich area.
Greenwich area. I got you. Connecticut.
But really just New York and New Jersey. And that's the only thing that's really good in New Jersey. So
let's start the slander now. We are not a go with Chicago deep dish. AKA lasagna.
I think who is it? It's Jon Stewart as one of the best bits about what Chicago deep dish pizza actually is. I don't want to paraphrase it because he does it too perfectly, and I will not do it credit. But please go listen to that because I agree with everything he says.
Classic. Okay.
That's fair.
All right. We got that out there. So since you're not, you're slanderous with the pineapple. So because I'm a pineapple guy, but I'm gonna let that go. I understand you're a purist. You're a purist, and I got
what is your pie? What is your pizza?
You
build one. What is it?
Generally meat forward.
Okay.
So I like to throw on some veggies, So I'll do like I love meatball, like a meatball sausage pepperoni.
All right.
Maybe throw some peppers.
Okay, we got peppers.
I like a little bit of spinach, maybe a couple of ricotta dollops on there. Yeah, we get the ham and bacon. It's like, it's like breakfast food. Certainly no like ground beef. That I'm not asking for a hamburger on my pizza.
You real specific with it. So what about none of that? No exotic. We ain't no buffalo chicken. None of that.
I'll do it. Okay. Like first of all, actually, I really appreciate a barbecue chicken pizza that has a red sauce base though with a barbecue drizzle. Okay. I don't like the barbecue sauce on the bottom. No.
You sound like E now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
I
E.
have a
E, is he
whole
a pocket?
picky food situation. No, I just like, I don't hear a whole lot of people mention barbecue chicken pizza, but if a barbecue chicken pizza is done well, whether it's the balance side, I don't know if I've had the red one, but I could see that with the drizzle for that little bit of kind of sweetness on top. But yeah, I'm like, I'm simple. I just like a good pepperoni pizza. Like mine's.
Like you always qualify every food opinion you have with if it's done well, as if anybody's
always.
Like, I love it when it's done not well.
I'm sorry.
I love it when it's not done well. It's my favorite. It's still great. Who is saying that? Why would you ever include that as a preface of a sentence?
Well, I will say no. To that
macaroni and
point,
cheese is still good, but it's still mac and
Jarrod got
cheese.
balls for this. Let me hear this.
To that point, I will take a average to subpar New York, New Jersey slice over pretty much pizza from any other place in the world.
Hold on, I
You
think
need
we
to get out
upset
more,
the
man.
entire.
There's a lot of good pizza out there. I feel like this is a you problem at this point. I mean, I get it. I get it. There is something special about a very simple old school New York pizza. But if you have closed your mind off to all of the great types of pizza out there,
Bay Area's
I've
talking.
got questions, sir.
Yeah.
My mind's not closed. I will eat it. I have to have pizza, even though it's in my DNA and my blood. So like, I have to have pizza. So like, I will suffer through other pizza, and there have been instances where I have found good pizza that maybe is not the New York style or even from New York, New Jersey.
Okay.
So I will say that
call it
I'm
pizza.
not.
That's
I'm
what
not
you do, right?
a psycho.
Yeah.
But-
all right.
But I will say I feel very strongly about the pineapple. I feel very strongly about ranch. Why are you dipping ranch?
Please
your
don't
pizza
do
into
that.
ranch?
Crazy.
Now I live in
ranch-
Texas,
we all
unfortunately.
agree-
I
we all
watched
agree
people do that. Yeah, don't do that. Oh.
And if I see you with a fork and a knife,
Oh, we got to get you out of the room. We got to get you out of the room.
I will.
Yep, I agree.
physically remove the fork
mean-
and the knife and you from my
That
I
nice
want to see
fold.
you eat a Chicago deep dish pizza without a fork and a knife. Good luck,
Again,
sir.
that's
don't-
technically
yeah.
not pizza. That's
It's
technically
not pizza.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, back for Daddy's from Chicago. That's my whole
Okay,
game there.
I have a requested question, and
Lasagna.
I'm curious about this because I have my own thought. But anyway, we have to ask you about ketchup.
Okay.
That's all I've been told.
Ketchup
Yeah.
in
what,
general.
What
Okay.
is there an opinion, a thought, hate, don't like, gotta have it everywhere, don't touch it at all? What's going on? There's a reason this is brought up in chat.
Okay. I love ketchup. Ketchup is good on most things. It needs to be Heinz. Don't give me Hunt's. Don't give me some organic, like store brand. Don't give me some gourmet ketchup. Heinz. Heinz 57. That's all I want.
All right.
Oh,
It's
your
that simple.
cousin is asking you to
I
explain.
figured so I love ketchup. When figured that was I had a feeling that this was going to come up because I saw a text message pop up on my phone.
Gotta
So-
love when you get roasted by your others.
I was a very picky eater when I was a kid. I still
Oh
fairly
my
picky.
God, you two did.
Here.
Yep, you two have
So-
bonded now.
But I hate
I
ketchup,
used-
so that's different.
Oh my! What do you dip your fries in? What do you put on a
Don't.
burger?
Ask him.
I don't.
He
He's
likes
ranch.
bland food.
Keep going along with these
He
questions.
likes
there,
bland
Montes.
food. I think he's trying to
No.
hurt the reputation of white people
I
everywhere.
don't like bland food. Like I don't like a bland
You
burger. No.
No sauces. No.
No
Clarify
sauces,
it.
no seasonings. The
No
more
sauces,
bland-
no
Okay, yeah, that's the
seasonings.
problem is a lot of people don't season their food and they cover it with a bunch of shit. So then if you get to the base ingredient of like, hey, is this hamburger a good patty? No, this is garbage. I've had much better patties. I just don't put a lot of extra stuff on it because I don't like condiments. Typically is it. I don't like
Yes,
mayo, mustard,
yeah,
ranch,
no,
relish.
The admission now. Here we
Yeah,
go.
so I don't like that. And that's fine. But I'm saying if a patty is well
You
made,
realize, E,
cooked well.
the patty can
and
be
s-
well made, and the sauces can be well made as well.
What'd you say?
Two things can be true.
Yeah,
They can both be good.
They can both be good, but I'm just saying, like, if just because I don't like the sauce can be my choice, that's fine. But if the base thing sucks,
Yes, but don't justify it by being like, "Oh, it doesn't need sauce."
But
They
that's
could
also how
both
you
be
fix
good.
no.
bad food too.
that is how you fix
Yeah.
bad food.
That is
See,
true.
and that's like
Stop eating bad food with sauce on it. Just get good food and put good sauce on it.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
okay,
can't
well,
justify that
I've
just
got
because
people,
you
like-
could say that about anything. You could be like, "Oh yeah, bad, day with chocolate at the end of it is a good day," but it doesn't You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've also got like down here in Texas, like brisket is a thing. Like brisket for barbecue is a thing. I'll spend 16 hours making a brisket outside, have this little meteor when I'm done of just like this perfect bark and everything, and it just melts apart. And if the first thing somebody reaches for is barbecue sauce, I'm like, stop, just taste the base. Like I actually saw a funny interview. There was a barbecue restaurant somewhere roaming around Texas. I was watching some of these, and they're like, we don't even have it on the table. They're like, where is it? I'm like, you don't need it. It shouldn't need it. And that's kind of the thing too. Sometimes is it's not a need. I understand it can complement. And it's like, I like teriyaki. There is some barbecue I like. And there's some sauces I've learned too that I do actually like, but there's just a lot of sauces I don't like. I don't like a lot of vinegary based things. So that takes quite a bit out.
And go to ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ketchup. Yeah. So ketchup though
takes 16 hours to make, by the way.
So when I was a kid, very picky. And we'd have family parties, and I wouldn't eat most foods besides like starches and like turkey. So I would like basically get ketchup and dip my turkey at Thanksgiving in ketchup, and also make like ketchup sandwiches. Like I would take a hot dog.
Sorry, what?
A hot dog bun. No hot dog, just ketchup.
You was doing ketchup sandwich.
You're just doing a tomato sandwich at that point.
What about let's get controversial. Let's get wild. What about all eggs?
My man Jarrod is like.
Do you put ketchup on eggs?
Do you put ketchup on eggs, sir?
I don't. I mean, salt, pepper, ketchup, right? That's a New York thing. I like hot sauce on eggs personally.
Okay.
I've had ketchup on eggs. I wouldn't not eat it, but it's not my jam really.
It's not your jam.
My man Jarrod is putting ketchup on his napkin so he can. You know,
I love ketchup.
Get a little extra.
It's the king of condiments. Is there a better condiment than ketchup? I don't think there is.
What about are you relish guy at all? No relish. Let's get to the hot dog. Let's go hot dogs now. Now I will give the Chicago contingent that are very furious with us in the chat right now about the pizza slander. I do think their hot dogs are official. I will give their hot dogs, but like, are you a hot dog guy? And what condiment? Just ketchup only on the hot dog? No mustard, no nothing, no relish.
Oh no. I'll do hot dogs up, but I'll draw the line at weird stuff like cream cheese. Like they do that here in Seattle. I'm like, oh.
No, it's probably Greek yogurt up there.
I'll do ketchup, mustard. I love a good chili dog. I love chili dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. Ketchup, mustard usually. Maybe some grilled onions. Yeah, chili.
Ronald Reagan said that ketchup was a vegetable. Just want to throw that out there.
Okay, go with the tomatoes.
I don't even know if I can defend that on any sort
tomatoes
of
aren't even a vegetable, so it's pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if you're. Yeah, that doesn't quite work.
Tough. It's a pretty tough one to describe.
No, I get a lot of a hard time from these two about my eating habits, and it's not quite as bad as they make it out to be. But I definitely was a picky eater growing up, to where hamburger plain and dry, like that was like.
A bun and patty? I feel like it's more savage than my bun and ketchup.
They disgusted Jarrod's face.
I know. Jarrod's like, whoa.
And patty?
Now, I used to do that. Like,
right. Just squirt some water in your mouth while you eat it, I guess. Chew it.
Tell them about earth sauce.
Oh, that's y'all are messy.
Earth sauce. That's
he likes
right.
earth sauce.
He likes earth sauce.
God's gift. Water.
Water. Yeah, I'll drink water. No,
it's the only sauce that he messes with.
It's the only sauce I have is earth sauce, just water. No, like now I'll do a burger with like caramelized onions, avocado. Occasionally I'll do a bacon cheeseburger, but I don't want like lettuce, tomato, mustard, relish, none of that on there. So it's like only a few things on there that I like.
What's wrong with the lettuce, tomato?
Lettuce, I'm okay. Tomato, just never been a fan of like raw tomato. I'll do like a tomato sauce or anything like that, but I just don't like a raw tomato.
You're gross.
We've never had a good tomato.
Your worldview is disgusting.
I mean, I know if you do like salt and pepper on a good tomato, like I've seen them done well. It's just, it's not.
Wait, do you? I just got to ask. I've thought about this. So salads are tomato free with you?
I don't do salads because okay.
Oh, we ain't even doing the
salad. Oh, no.
You have to put maybe some dressing on that.
No, I don't do salads because I don't like dressing, hence the not wanting to eat salad. I will eat vegetables. I will not do salad. Now, I will say, whoever, like our neighbors, we've had dinner with them and they made a salad that I ate. It had like lettuce with, and they just like little olive oil, salt and pepper into the, like where you massage the leaves. So it's kind of like breaking them down, the bitterness. I've learned this. A little bit of avocado, a little bit of apple. And I actually ate the salad and I'm sitting there going, that was good. But it's because it wasn't a vinegar dressing and that type of stuff. But generally, no, not going to do it.
So you don't like balsamic vinegar?
Not really.
Oh my God.
He doesn't like anything to be wet. No wetness on his food.
I'm glad you said food there, because that's going to bring up a whole different discussion and problems. So thank you, by the way, for that.
Hey, your mind went there, okay? I'm just
you're the one who said it. No, I've had okay, I will say I've done part balsamic, part soy like glaze on asparagus. I've done that, but it's just like straight balsamic probably on lettuce. Yeah, I know. I'm losing the battle to everybody in chat.
You don't like the second best fruit.
Tomatoes are the second best, brother. We love you for who you are.
Tomatoes are
it's what you love. It's what you love.
Hey, at least I know Jarrod and I can share a tequila shot till we're both on the floor, so that's fine.
Hey, now that's a vegetable.
An agave plant.
Great.
Tequila's great. It's vegetarian, all natural, vegan, and we'll call it a vegetable.
Yeah, great. All fruits that become liquids are suddenly vegetables. I don't know what
if Reagan's going there, I'll go there too. With one that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, no doubt. Hilarious.
I was like, we can probably chat with you all night, but I do want to make sure we respect your time as we're getting close.
Respect the man's time.
Honestly, like the work that you guys do is amazing. I think I was trying to wait and see if we would actually get there, but I think we're just going to be close. Right now, so far, we are at 968,000 for the overall Game2Give drive so far. That is just absolutely bananas.
So close. That's wild.
Totally bonkers. And it was a pleasure meeting you at GCX. We chatted for a while out of the pool, had a drink and stuff like that. And then having you on here for this was perfect.
Absolutely.
Great.
Just getting to know why you guys do what you do, where all the money goes and all the stuff that it does. And just, it is the stories, it is the little moments that you experience that will sit with you, you will remember. Like when you talk about the Make-A-Wish or the photo of somebody sending that to you, those are the ones that truly make a difference and be like, yeah, I could skip that meal. You can have this. And the generosity in the community is beyond anything right now. For everybody who's donating right now, it's absolutely crazy.
No doubt. Shall see the super chat for 3 Geeks?
You gotta read the
super chat.
No.
Read it.
Barking on a million. # dog noises. I have 3 huskies, so occasionally they will definitely make it onto the microphone.
I love it.
Now
I have a tiny miniature pinscher, and she often makes it onto the microphone because she's probably louder than your husky and barks at everything.
Wow.
One of them maybe, but yeah, I believe you, because most of the time ours aren't too noisy. One of them talks a bit though, but yeah, they're not too much.
Glad Jarrod pulled up because I got a chance to meet you at GCX. Great energy. Obviously, he's from the town, so I was biased. I was he's from the state.
I knew you were good. Yeah,
there it is.
And we didn't even get a chance to talk briefly, but I wanted to shout you out too on oh, okay, you take it all the way NY. Okay, all right, I see what we're doing. So it's like one thing I want to respect though is in something that I really am supportive of, like a health as well, the healthy lifestyle and stuff like that. And the triathletes and that what you do, I think is pretty awesome. What you're doing prior, what you got there. I'm assuming you're still trying to bike or do things to kind of keep fit. Is that still kind of a core aspect of trying to stay consistent?
Yeah, it is.
When he's getting older.
No, it's the way I allow myself to have a good time and not worry about strict eating habits so much. I do train. I do a couple big races every year. Got one in April coming up down in San Diego. So yeah, it's I got hooked into it when I'm back, probably close to 10 years ago now. Started small and then just growing up, I never thought I would do any of this crazy endurance stuff. That just wasn't me. I played basketball, I played baseball, I was a swimmer. I was never even in swimming, I was an endurance guy. I was like a sprinter. So asking me to run back then would be like, no. I don't know. There's at some point, I got convinced into doing a race. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then, I like having goals. I like having, something to work towards. So that gives me that kind of motivation to accomplish something and beat personal bests and just try to get better, even just incrementally. And I think triathlons are kind of unique in that way where you got 3 different disciplines. So like you can focus really on here, focus on that one. You really should focus on all 3 so you get better overall. But, sometimes I like riding my bike more than I like running. But so yeah, it's great. I love it. I'm a big peer pressure guy when it comes to doing races and triathlons.
So you dragging? Who you dragging? Are you dragging people?
I don't know.
Family through?
Maybe I should drag you 3 into a race. How about that? Maybe that's a stretch goal. How about that, Ebontis? If you hit a target, all 3 of you.
Yeah,
all 3 of you are signing up for a race.
Like I'm a little out of running shape, but like there was a point where, man, it's probably been like 7 or 8 years now. We got into mud runs a lot. So mud runs, obstacle races, those were, because then you said you're like, I like riding the bike more than running. A lot of people like doing something other than running, unless you just have.
Travis is gonna smoke us all.
Travis is gonna kick everything.
12 miles a day, baby.
Travis is ready.
Travis is the runner.
Travis is
easy
the
for
runner.
him then.
But like obstacle races, and we've done 5 tough mudders. We did like 12 mud runs in a year once. I did a Spartan Beast and that's when I think I injured my IT band. But those, as you said, the goals, and that's when I was training for the Beast. Like I signed up for it way in advance. That was like a year ahead. A personal trainer was working on that. And it was like best shape I've ever been in. So for goals and stuff, like now had a little bit of a knee injury, working on getting back into running. Actually, now I've been doing that a little bit more recently. So I miss it, actually. It's been a little while since I've been out running, and finally, because when we were at GCX, you were giving Leopard a hard time. We're going to run at like 6? We're going to go? I remember you talking about that. So your peer pressure to be like, we're going to run? Come on, I'll be up. You'll be up. We're drinking right now. I'll be up. We're going. Like your peer pressure is hardcore. Yeah.
It was awful. Never run in summer Florida.
No.
I remember the story. I was like,
no, that sounds horrible.
That was horrible.
Yeah, like you up there in Seattle, you probably have perfect weather for it almost all the time. I would imagine, at least a lot of it.
That's very false. It's very wet.
No, raining, fine, raining all the time. Yeah, you need to run with this like personal umbrella the size of like small car. But no, I mean that's
5 degrees, foggy. That's the right way.
He's San Francisco. But no, like finding something physical that you have an enjoyment from, that you find a way to make it work for you to be something you stick with is always good. So if running is yours, the triathlon, that's, my wife knows somebody who's training for those and stuff, but she had like an issue with like the swimming part. All of a sudden there was like a fear that happened, like open ocean kind of thing hit her. But I mean, other than that, like still the training. So Jarrod is the biggest exercise peer pressure on planet Earth.
Oh yeah.
Who's that from?
Eric.
Who's that from?
Eric.
Yeah. Except someone peer pressured me into doing the New York City Marathon and then backed out 2 years ago. How about that?
Oh, the call out. Although
he did complete it. I'll give him credit. He completed it this year. So,
not the call.
But yes, I've peer pressured many of folk into doing these ridiculous things.
I feel like you guys could do like a company-wide kind of thing if you got enough people at Bungie doing it. I feel like there's got to be a lot of people that would up there.
I'm working towards it. I'm trying.
I was like, I feel like that's something you would definitely put together and orchestrate or something.
Stop taking his calls. Nobody at Bungie wants to talk to him. They know what.
Feel like Jarrod's calling. Don't answer it. Why?
Yeah,
just
don't answer. He's gonna try to get you to run. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, is there anything else you guys want to cover? I think we've hit a lot of stuff.
We hit it, man. We gotta respect the man's time. We gotta get him back to his day.
Yeah, Jarrod. Well, anything else?
Don't we have a surprise?
I was like, is there anything else towards
that is true.
Towards the end of the show? Is there anything else you would like to talk about, sir?
I did promise a surprise. Did we hit 1 million yet? Maybe I'll wait till we hit 1 million. Okay.
I was like, we're gonna be talking about food because we got about 27,000 to go.
Okay.
Dang, you're gonna hit 1 million.
It's gonna happen like an hour after this thing's over, though, easily.
Yeah, while I'm eating my, ketchup sandwich and subpar Pacific Northwest pizza.
They're going through. He's suffering right now. He's suffering.
Tough day for Jarrod up there.
Yeah, so I do have a special announcement, an exclusive, the Last Word podcast exclusive. So for Game2Give this year, we have a lot of cool things planned. This is by our most ambitious campaign all up in terms of the things we've wanted to invite our community and offer to our community to thank them for the support over the years, but also encourage them to keep supporting us and keep incentivizing them to come out and show out and fundraise and donate. But that's important. Like if we don't recognize the continued support we've gotten over the years, then we're not really doing our supporters justice. And we've implemented a lot of fundraising rewards lifetime, which have been well received, and we're still working on building that program out even further. This year, we're going to introduce some lifetime donation rewards that are coming out soon. So that is, people have been asking that for a while because people have been donating for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's not the news. The news is on February 1st, we are hosting a Game2Give charity live stream. We're bringing back our prize wheel that we had a couple of years ago.
Nice. We
have a ton of prizes. We're streaming live here from Seattle, and we have a very, very special guest who's going to be on the stream with us. And that guest is, I'm not telling you now. You'll have to wait and find out. So the only way to find out though, is to follow us on socials. B, make sure you follow the Bungie Foundation Twitch channel. Bungie Foundation has our own partnered channel. We will be streaming that live stream from it on February 1st with our special guest. And we will be releasing more info about the stream over the coming over the coming week. And really, it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited. We've been putting some really hard work into it. I'm really glad that we're going to be able to live stream again for the charity and Big Do. It's going to be like a 3-4 hour stream. I'm very excited for the guests. You guys have any guesses on who it might be? I'm not going to give you any reaction. I'm just curious of who you might think.
He's back.
He's back.
Keith David?
Keith David would be great.
Nathan Fillion would be Nathan Fillion would probably blow me away. Nathan Fillion would be nuts.
Yeah. You know what?
3 Geeks is calling Nathan Fillion. We got a couple of those in chat.
What you got, Trav?
I think actually you do a guess first. I already did one.
Yeah, because I was thinking I was more with the Nathan. I was like, right, it'd be right on schedule.
I'll give the correct answer.
Special guest Keanu Reeves.
Jared's gonna be so impressed I got it right. He's just gonna tell the world right now.
He's just gonna break it.
It will be Paul McCartney doing a live rendition of "Hope for the Future" on live stream.
Nailed it.
That's it. Nailed it. Got it in one.
Cat's out of the bag.
That's it.
Yeah, he's not going to be there in person though. He's going to send us hologram, just like the music video. Yeah, got to do it that way.
Well, I guess there's no surprises to tell anymore. So.
That's it. I mean,
sorry guys.
Busted out.
Sorry, man. We had to ruin that for you. We apologize.
I was like, I feel like Nathan Fillion, Keith David. I don't know if you go pull some of the execs out and pull like Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy in. Those are the ones that I could think of, at least related. Like we actually just got done talking to Morla Gordona, like not that long ago. Awesome. She was awesome too.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, those would probably be the bigger names I could picture. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I think
you'll find out.
Yeah.
It's Paul McCartney. We just, we just don't know it, so it's fine.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Hologram.
I was thinking maybe we would like announce who it was going to be, when we hit the $1 million mark, but I guess that's about to happen. So we got to go back to the drawing board on the announcement. We'll figure it out, but yeah, stay tuned. Honestly, there's going to be a ton of like stuff and giveaways and really, really awesome, rare, one of a kind pieces you can potentially take home.
I can imagine there's a lot of cool like concept art roaming around your building that people would be really happy to have.
So
that's awesome
tune in
that you guys are
February
doing that.
1st. Follow us.
Do you have a time, or is it like the whole damn day, or?
Nah, it's like 10 a.m.
Okay.
Pacific.
Of course.
Yep, we got it.
No, you're gonna go Hawaiian time.
We put the Twitch up in there.
Yep. So twitch.tv/Bungie Foundation. Those are there. Yeah, go follow, go look it up. It's got the cool heart emblem. You'll find it. That's awesome, though.
That's no man.
When you guys put together live streams from the ones that I remember in the past, it's been a little while, but they're always a good time. So I'm excited to see what you guys do with this one, especially as you're off to like this rocket of a start. I'm kind of curious what you come up with.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little bit zany. It's gonna have some good moments, like some mission moments. Some other stuff I can't talk about because I don't want to ruin the surprise.
You're gonna have to sit tight.
Well, I think February 1st will be a very fun day then.
Indeed.
Well, as we get ready, I know that's the big announcement, but just for you personally, if there's anything else you want to mention for anybody who listens to this, whether it's why, what you do, where to find you, just anything you want to say for kind of closing words, the floor is completely yours.
Just thank you. I think really that sums it up. Again, this community has been amazing. The support that we've seen over the years, and I mean, the start we've had to this year's campaign is just incredible. Nothing that we do would be possible without the support of the community and their like unending support year over year, campaign after campaign. So thank you, honestly. I can't say it enough. You guys really step up to help out when it's needed. So thank you. February 1st stream. Game2Give gear. Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney's going to be there.
Honestly, Hope for the Future is kind of an appropriate song for Bungie Foundation. That's all I'm saying. All right. Good. Outros. What are we doing, guys? What do you got, Cog?
Look, man, again, shout out to Jarrod for pulling up. Tremendous organization. Love what the community is doing. Love what you guys are doing. I know it's not easy work and the planning and all the challenges that goes in, but you see that reward, right? You see what the actual tangible help and assistance gives to people and just pretty much changing lives, in that respect. So salute to you. Send our loves to the entire team. We love it. Destiny community is still one of the best communities, and to see the support and the continued support. They ain't gonna get that million. We already know that's happening.
That's happening later tonight.
Yeah, but salute, appreciate it. Of course, it's my New York brethren, man. It's my New York brother. I got a chance to break bread with you. Awesome energy, and definitely looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much for pulling up to the last word. Trav, what you got going on with you, man?
Yeah, thanks, Jared. Thanks for being here. You're awesome. As for me, my full review of Pal World will be up probably early next week. I've got
that is something else.
I've got a preview of I don't even think I can say what it is, but I got a preview of a game that's coming up in February that I'm gonna have sometime probably also early next week. And I'm working on some other projects I can't talk about yet, but it's exciting time for games.
Also,
and
I forgot. Before we pass the again, guys, obviously Iron Lord podcast this Sunday. Come check it out. We'll have Harold Goldberg, executive president of New York Game Awards and the New York Video Games Critics Circle. So come check that out. That'll be cool, as well as Ryan, the new president. And next week, non-spoiler, but tune into the New York Game Awards next week. It should be fun. That's my little surprise. It should be fun to go support. Right. And Neil Druckmann will be there as well, and we'll give him his Legend Award. So we're looking forward to that. Now, E, what you got going on? What's going on with you? What you got?
I don't know if I can follow all that. No, I'm gonna probably rest tomorrow after everything I did today. Just a little bit.
Congratulations.
But no, I mean, does all the community, as Jarrod said, it's all of everybody out there. Thank all of you for the generosity, the kindness, and it's like, you guys know I'm gonna be here making guides and content and streaming and hanging out with all of you. But today was a special one, and to see that we're gonna crack 1 million as a community in less than 24 hours, probably in the next hour, as things are moving along. Mind-blowing. So keep doing what you're doing. If you have it and you can spare it, it's going to one one of the best places it could go, probably just helping out the people in moments where they need it the most across all of the pillars that they do. So, Jarrod, it was an absolute pleasure. It was our honor to have you on the show, and had an absolute blast, man. I knew this was going to be fun, and it definitely got there. So, had the real moments and had the absolute goofy moments, and I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Yeah, this is great, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, for episode number 280, not too far from 300, we're getting there. For this episode, chat, you guys have been amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. And Jarrod, say hey to everybody up in the studio for us as well. So we wrap this thing up on this episode. It has been the last word.